Hey guys, so I have to combine days 15 and 16 because yesterday was so busy, I didn't have a chance to sit down and record anything. I'm sorry that I know I'm not supposed to do it like that. But yesterday was a mile marker. I ran my mile in 6:03. Look at this. It was beautiful. A 6 minute mile was my goal by the end of this cut, and I'm at 6:03. Today I am not running a mile. I'm doing mobility, stretching, and just walking for my cardio because my foot and ankle on my right ankle and my left foot are bugging the crap out of me. So I'm just gonna stretch, do some mobility, try to make them feel okay. But today I'm also gonna do a push-pull upper body workout. And so yesterday's progress picture, here it is. So if you can't tell, I just woke up. I don't feel very sharp this morning. I fell asleep. I used some stuff to help me sleep better. And oh my gosh, I slept until 7:30, which is so late for me. That's 3.5 hours sleeping in. I just got to the gym and it's 8:09. So, freaking crazy. But I'm gonna go get this workout. I'm gonna do it as kind of like not a circuit, but just like high tempo with like 1.5 minute breaks between everything. I'm gonna do it push-pull. So I've been really enjoying training in, my wife's a great big fan of Dana Lynn Bailey. And one thing that Dana Lynn Bailey, fake natty, of course, in my opinion, but, she was Miss Olympia, so there's things to be learned, right? She always did supersets. So, and you say what you want about her, saying that she's natty all this time and competing against, people who were running gear and winning and all of that sort of thing. Like, I don't believe that she was natural, but her physique doesn't lie. And so obviously something works really, really well with what she's doing. So I kind of adopted that because I liked the pump better when I did back-to-back and supersets or like very short rests, like superset, very short rest, and then another superset. I really like that. But the thing about supersets, you got to do two different muscle groups. Supersetting like bench press with tricep extensions, not a good plan. If you're going to do a pushing movement, so let's just say like incline bench press, then you need to superset that with a pulling movement. And the reason for this is the primary movers in the first exercise need to be completely different from the ones in the second exercise, so that the primary movers for the push type movement are resting during the pull movement. Obviously they're always going to be activated a little bit for stabilization and all that sort of thing, but their primary job needs to be relaxed. So I always try to do, if I'm doing a push-pull, I'll do them back-to-back and then wait 30 more seconds, and then back-to-back, wait 30 more seconds, back-to-back. And it works well. The workout gets done in 45 minutes, and the pump is amazing. So, yeah, that's the plan today, push-pull. And I'm going to do... So I've kind of moved forward from the, 6, 8, 12, 15s. And I'm kind of doing a little bit higher volume, as heavy as I can do for sets of 12 or 15, 12 to 15 for them. And it feels better that way. 15 is kind of the maximum for anaerobic exercise, by the way, where you're like really, really building muscle. When you get up into those like 20 rep sets, they can be helpful if you're trying to get to burn out. But if you're doing every set at 20, your risk of injury is pretty high. And at a certain point, at a certain amount of volume, you begin to only be training muscular endurance, not strength or size. So you want it to be in that, 8 to 15 range, so that you're still pushing for hypertrophy. They say 8 to 12 for hypertrophy, 15 is pushing it. Is what when I did my exercise physiology courses, this is what I learned. And I have really good success with that 12 to 15 rep range, as far as pump, growing muscles, all that sort of thing. I woke up at 186.9 pounds. Part of that is I'm just way more dehydrated than usual. So I've drunk 30 ounces of water already, and I had a carb heavy snack, which is a banana with peanut butter, before I came to the gym. So since I woke up late, gotta have something to work with. So it was about 300 calories, a little more than I'm used to, so I had to wait another 10 minutes, and that's kind of why I'm procrastinating here. Been sitting here talking to you guys for 5 minutes. So but yeah, we're gonna get in here, get this workout, and then I'll walk, and then later on I'm gonna do a walk outside. I try to break up my cardio, or not even just my cardio, but like my main movement periods of the day into 2 parts, because if you do it all at once, like, that's good. But then, you think about the other 22 hours of the day where you're just sitting or not being too active. I don't like that. So I'll do, the 2 hours in the morning where I'm doing my weights and then whatever cardio it is I'm doing. And then in the afternoon, I'll do a walk for about 30 minutes, get about, 4,000 more steps. That's kind of the easiest way for me to do it, and I feel better when that happens and things seem more consistent. So, by the way, happy Father's Day to fathers out there. It's one of the greatest parts of my life is being a dad. I wouldn't change a thing. I've got, a beautiful little almost 2-year-old, and, as difficult as things can be sometimes, there's nothing you could pay me to change it. I mean, when I think about, she had RSV over the winter, and I slept on the floor with her and then she had like residual lung issues, and she wasn't breathing properly. So I couldn't put her in a crib, and I didn't bring her to our bed because she kept waking up all the time. So I slept on the floor on a mat with her for almost 2 months while she was recovering from that, to make sure that she was breathing at night. So, that's something I really think about, is like maybe the hardest part of that I've had being a dad, other than her being a preemie and jaundiced and having all kinds of issues there. But it's so scary, her like ragged breathing, and almost felt like she stopped breathing sometimes at night, and having to give her, like, hold her still and give her albuterol treatments as an 18-month-old when she didn't understand what was going on, and it was scaring her. So that was a scary part, but I would not change being a dad for anything. So anyway, there's my little sentimental message there. I'm gonna go get this workout done, meal prep done. That's all I gotta do for the weekend, right? So here's the progress picture from this morning. So weight is moving the way I want it to. I do feel like I'm getting leaner. Tomorrow's an off day, so I will be doing mobility stretching and then just walking. Wait, no, I did that today. I did walking today, so tomorrow we'll still do cardio. But I'll just do stretching, mobility, and then cardio tomorrow morning. I want to talk today a little bit about perception. So I feel small. I'm not, I'm 190-ish, 186.7 now. But, there's the muscle that I've got. I mean, there's times where I feel big, and then there's times where I see somebody who lifts and runs gear, and I feel small. And it's frustrating because that's when you're online and you're looking at people who are running gear, who are fake natties, or have their entire day, every day, to commit to this, to eating exactly right and training, getting exactly enough steps, all of that. It's really hard as just a normal, a person who has to live a day-to-day life and work a 9-to-5 job, to see that is what the fitness world is. And that's kind of my monologue today, and I'm kind of just going wherever it takes me, but I have a really hard time with that. There's a lot of people that, I lift more than them.
I'm stronger than them, and I can consistently perform better than them, but they look so much better than me. And part of that is, admittedly, I haven't been as strict with myself, especially with diet, as I could have been. But when you look at the internet and you look at all the people that are the fitness models and influencers, you see a whole lot of that. As a guy who's over 30 years old, it's really hard when the 18-year-olds are all running gear and you're sitting here like, well, damn it. Like, I'm 30. I've been lifting for, 6-7 years, and, dealing with, for me, I dealt with 7 years of school, and I'm working on my PhD now. I've got a kid. I've got responsibilities financially, and I'm never going to look like, the Ashton Halls of the world, partially because he's a fake natty, but also because, like, these guys that, like Will Tennyson, that can dedicate everything to it. It's not realistic for us to compare ourselves to those people. And that all that was saying, you probably shouldn't compare yourself to anybody anyway. But everybody says that knowing full well that we all do. Like, it's all part of it. You do compare yourself to other people. The right thing to do, I think, is to make sure you're doing it in a positive way. So it's like, okay, this guy looks better than I do, and this, here, and here. I wish that I had those traits, so let me go pull something from him and learn from it, or just appreciate that he looks the way he does, and like, good for you, man. Like, those are kind of the two healthier ways to do it. The other way is like, to be spiteful and down on yourself. And it's kind of hard to balance that, for sure. Hi. I think something that's really important on this topic, I'll come over in just a second, okay? Be patient, Daddy's coming. I think something that's really important on this particular topic is that, you should just accept, okay, I am comparing myself to other people, because people will tell you, don't do it, you should never compare yourself to other people, but knowing full well that we're going to, everybody's going to, at least to some degree. So, accept that you're going to, but then also realize like where you're at with your journey, and as well as where they're at with theirs. And a lot of these people, like, it is their job to stay fit and big, and a lot of them run gear because of that. Whereas for the rest of us, like that, being fit and staying, lean or healthy is kind of an addition on top of everything else that we do. So it's not just the only thing. Sorry, my daughter's singing over there. It's not the only thing in our lives like it is for a lot of these people, these influencers, these social media personalities. Okay, I can hold that for you. So, this is her little rainbow unicorn water. But that's really kind of the thing I think about when I, like, oh dang, man, I wish I looked like that. I put it in perspective. It's like, well, if I took all the time away from the other things that are important to me to look like that, there would be a lot of things. Here it is. There would be a lot of things that I miss out on in life. So it would be nice to look like Adonis, but, kept in perspective, we're just not going to, and that's an unrealistic expectation. And where men, especially men over 30, are concerned, there's a lot of physical unrealistic expectations. Now, it's not unrealistic to expect to be like normally fit, not obese. That's not an unrealistic expectation. Have your water, baby. But it is unrealistic to think that you're going to look like, Jesse James West if you have 100 other things going on in your life that aren't centered around fitness. You don't have to look like that. And that's a hard thing to remind yourself of. But anyway, that's kind of just my spiel for today. If you'd like to give it a thumbs up, let me know how I'm doing. Leave a comment. It really helps. And I'll see you guys next time.